love working with the team towards a common goal.
For the camaraderie.
Camaraderie and playing with my teammates.
I play for my team.
Teamwork and the connections that I can build on and off field.
For the community and the exercise.
Because of the community and the competition.
I like playing Ultimate Frisbee for the competition.
I play for the competition and the fun.
For fun.
Because fun.
I love getting to work hard.
You get out of it.
Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in Canada. We are live at UPI in Ottawa, Ontario for CUC, Canadian Ultimate Championship Junior Division. Etienne Fournier welcoming you to this game, which will feature Titane from Montreal wearing the blue jerseys against Ignite from Ottawa wearing the white jerseys. And no, don't be afraid. I will not be alone. We'll have the great privilege of sharing the mic with who is, without any doubt, the best-looking commentator on the west coast of this country.
I'll take it.
Clay, welcome to this webcast.
Thanks. This is exciting. We've had the opportunity to watch a lot of games this weekend so far, or this week so far, and you know, some have been close, some have not. My hot take. Right now, this one is going to be close. We've got Ignite in white. They were bronze medalists last year in Surrey. Titane, I watched a few of their games last year. I commentated a few of their games last year in Surrey, and they were very strong. They, I think, missed out on the top four, but not a lot. Maybe 2-3 point games, you know. So expecting this to be a close match and hoping for it. And both these teams have kind of come in with a lot of energy looking for that W.
Absolutely. Alors, nous allons partager cette web diffusion. On va passer du français à l'anglais, de l'anglais au français, au plaisir de tous ceux qui nous écoutent. Merci d'être des nôtres. Alors, une belle rivalité entre cette équipe Titane de Montréal et Ignite de Ottawa. Ils se sont affrontés déjà à 2 reprises plus tôt dans la saison. Et c'est une victoire de chaque côté. Les 2 matchs se sont décidés par seulement 2 points. Alors, tout un spectacle en perspective. Titane qui commencera les hostilités avec le lancer d'engagement Ignite on the receiving end to open this game. So quickly, one-to-one defense moving sideways. Tenden with the disc, finding his teammate wearing number 41, Mooring, which is probably the tallest player on the both teams, if I'm not mistaken, Clay. What do you think?
Yeah, we were saying that. We were saying he's the only player wearing black shorts where you can fully read the Ottawa along the side because he's so tall that his T-shirt doesn't come down that far. But, yeah, he already making himself as a big presence. You see him kind of muscling his way through the lanes there, too. He's tall. But not tall like your eye. He's got some muscle behind him, I think. Well, maybe you could do.
He has more muscle.
But yeah, he definitely
not
some
hard
muscle.
to beat. You know, everybody has more muscle than me.
Yeah, so a big guy, and already seeing that just in the way he's handling. And I think you're right. I think we're going to see him in the air as well this game.
So there was a call. There was some body bumping on the mark, which was quickly resolved by the observers. I think it was uncontested. So that was that caught in? No, it was cut out. The observers are active on the line calling. So first break opportunity for Titane. Première opportunité de bris en ce premier match. C'est Drouin qui remettra le disque en jeu numéro 22. Cherche une opportunité. On vous rappelle, les joueurs ont 10 secondes. Et là, ça a été partially blocked, at least from the foot of Titane. So Ignite taking the disc back in the red zone. Mooring will put it back into play. Vertical stack in the end zone. With Brooklyn Shear attacking the line, going sideways, finding Chase Alexander. And here's the first point by Ignite. And guess who scored it? Brooklyn Shear wearing number 40. And yes, you have seen right. She is a woman playing on the open division. That's what we call it, the open division. So what a nice cut by Shear, Brooklyn Shear.
Great cut. Cool story. We were talking to the coach of Ottawa before the game. And Brooklyn showed up to tryouts for Ignite just like everyone else and was evaluated in the same way and made it on her merits. Making a play like that, you see why. You know, and she's got quite a background, you know, a pedigree, if you will, of everything she's done. A very strong player in the Ottawa women's scene in the past few years. Had the chance watching, you know, the teams last year, and it was cheer everywhere all the time. So seeing her shift into a different division to give it a tryout, and then, like you said, it's open. Anyone is free to play in this division. So making her mark right away, cool thing to see. Love to see it.
And Clay, we were mentioning just before being live, like the depth of the junior program in the Ottawa region. There are 4 teams in the open division. So she made her way on the top team. And not only did she make her way on the top team, she's scoring the first point of this web stream.
Yeah.
So
just
Ignite,
showing Ignite being the top team, and then I'm going to give this a shot. Ignite, Scorch, Blaze, Fuel.
And
someone can
you're
correct
right.
me out there.
I believe you're right, Clay. So not only are you the best-looking guy on the best-looking commentator on the West Coast, but you have an amazing memory. In the meantime, Titane avec le disque. Défensive de zone appliquée par Ignite. On bouge bien le disque de façon latérale. C'est le numéro 2, Vincent Morgan, qui s'échange le 10. Et maintenant le numéro 24, Romain Obella. On vient de transitionner à une défensive 1 pour 1. Un beau petit tour de Mayotte pour se démarquer. Il va trouver Bérard en soutien. On est à peu près à la ligne de Brick. Du côté de Titane, on progresse bien milieu de terrain. Encore une fois, Mayotte qui s'ouvre à l'intérieur. C'est Drolet qui chasse ses disques et plonge. Oh, tenter de l'attraper de la main gauche, mais c'était tout juste hors de portée. Bel effort de Drolet sur cette passe de Mayotte.
Yeah, Mayotte really driving that offense. As you say, that great effort there, that layout. Like the disc sailing way, we've seen a lot of blade forehands today get picked up by the wind, pushed around, making players have to work just a little bit harder. But Mayotte really driving that point in the handler set. Very typical in a vertical offense to have your handlers very active.
Long play, finding Pablo Erazo wearing number 0 for Ignite. Entering the red zone, but it's foot block! Denied by number 24, Obella. Titane qui reprend possession. Ils ont commencé le point à l'offensive. C'est encore une fois Obella là, qui se démarque à l'intérieur après un beau jeu de pied. Maintenant, Morgan, milieu de terrain, tente la passe. Belle attrapée d'Antoine Cyr à quelques verges de la zone de pointe. Cherche une opportunité, cherche un soutien, va rejoindre Morgan. Il y a une belle passe-brie, c'est Mayotte là, qui vraiment s'est agenouillé pour faire une belle passe-brie. Mais malheureusement, c'est Cyr, là, où je crois, si je ne me trompe, qui n'a pu attraper cette passe, le numéro 3.
Yeah, 2 off the hands for Titane. I mean, those passes have each had some spice on them, but Mayotte once again driving that, just bouncing off the hands of Sears. Unfortunate. Had some mustard on it, though. Hard catch to make.
Erazo going long. Disc is floating. Oh, almost caught by number 11, Rowan. I think it's number 11, so Jordan Dawes. And now there's another turnover in favor of Ignite, and there's some hand signals say, hey, cool down, cool down. There was a lot of turnovers so far. We have a break opportunity, so let's make sure to convert that. Number 42, Charlie Lumley, will put the disc back into play. Chasey Jones attacking the line, but resetting it to Marshall. Quickly to Titane, sideways, and here's the first break point of the game, scored by Ignite, taking a 2-0 lead early in the game.
Ignite did a wonderful job. Actually haven't paid close enough attention yet so far, still finding all the names, pardon me. But vertical offensive set in the end zone, very typical for most teams to get into a vertical, like single file line in the middle of the field in the end zone. And they were doing such a good job of being ready to move and setting up continuations. Something we've seen in this junior division a lot is when a handler has the disc, they turn, they look upfield, and they wait to make eye contact with somebody who gets that eye contact, and then they move, right? Here, watching Ignite's offense, it's not like that. As soon as someone is turning around with the disc, people are already in motion, right? Teammates are already setting up a cut deep to shake a defender and then come under, or vice versa. But Ignite's timing right now has been really crisp. On that last point, specifically in the vertical, it was really good. Titane's credit, same thing. Their vertical has been working for them. They've had two strikes from it, one that was successful, one that wasn't. They had two really unfortunate, well, one that was hard to get, and then another unfortunate drop in the end zone. Their vertical offense has been crisp as well. It just seems that Ignite was able to finally calm down. Like you said, we heard the calm down calls to punch that point in.
Ignite wearing the white jerseys, putting the disc into play. Drouin qui reçoit la première passe de Mayotte. Défensive de zone jouée par Ignite avec un 3-3-1. On bouge bien le disque. On est maintenant le long de la ligne. On vient de mettre le disque derrière, mais ça a été attrapé avec le pied à l'intérieur. C'était sur la ligne. Belle attrapé de Bado, mais malheureusement à l'extérieur. Ça sera another break opportunity for Ignite early in the game. Mooring will put it back in, defended by Bado, giving some advices, going long, but Drouin anticipated that very well. Revirement en faveur de Titane. On bouge bien le disque. C'est maintenant le numéro 26, Papa Georgiou, avec le disque. Milieu de terrain. Les Bleus. C'est maintenant Maillot avec le disque. Cherche l'option. Retient son geste. On veut bouger. On va rejoindre Obella. Maintenant, stack vertical de la part des Montréalais. C'est Drouin qui s'offre en cible à l'intérieur, le long de la ligne. La passe est longue, ça flotte. Bado est en chasse, défendu par Mooring. Et c'est Mooring de son grand gabarit qui en tirera avantage. Mooring, as we mentioned, the tallest guy on the field right now. And he really take advantage on that D. So more likely something to acknowledge from the Titane handler. Just make sure, where is Mooring on the field?
Yeah.
When he's deep, well, maybe you should hold it back.
Exactly.
Don't put it too long.
I'd also say, Titane, you've established that you're going to throw it deep. Start working the disc under. That is working for you. You're very, very fast. Make some smaller passes because Ignite is ready to back you. They are trying to take away the hucks, but you don't need to force it anymore.
Turnover by Titane. Drouin blocking the disc, but the pass was a little low and a little behind the intended receiver. Titane qui menace et Maillot qui remettra le disque en jeu. Ils appellent un temps d'arrêt. Timeout call by Montreal early in this game. We're already at the third point, and there was a few break opportunity by Ignite, which they were able to convert to take a 2-0 lead so far. But now Titane looking to regather together to make sure they score their first point.
Yeah.
And how important is that first point?
Well, it's huge.
Early in the game?
This is such a smart timeout.
It is.
Right? Because you've had basically, you know, it's funny, earlier on the stream today when I was watching, it was all about red zone defense. Or sorry, red zone patience. Red zone patience. And what we've seen from Titane so far is they're getting it down the field, no problem. And when it's time to score, punch, going for it. And that's not working. Their passes are too zippy. The timing's a little off. Maybe there's a miscue or something like that. Or they're throwing it up to Ignite's biggest defender, right? So taking this time out right now and saying, okay, let's chill this out. Let's get back to the discipline that we know, right? We talked to the coaches earlier. They say mental fortitude and fundamentals is our thing. Now's the time to talk about that in that timeout and get on the board. The energy in this game is anyone's right now. Both teams are really fired up. So, yeah, getting on the board right now is so important because if they don't and Ignite scores this point, I feel like Titane will just come out deflated next point. And Ignite will be in ascension, right?
Absolutely. Alors, Titane, tout juste quelques verges derrière la zone rouge. Pour ceux qui sont moins familiers avec le sport, la zone rouge, c'est une zone, un point de repère, c'est une vingtaine de verges avant la zone de points. On a tenté la passe, et Drouin, ça lui a sorti des mains. Turnover, Mooring, taking it back. Nice around the mark. Great disc movement by the white jerseys. Mooring once again defended by Drouin. Two players, two star players on these two teams. Still, the disc is floating, but a great grab. But unfortunate miscue, the number 83. Emery Hockey just missing his pass. It probably was pushed down by the wind. It's kind of a sideway and comes in gusts, so hard to handle. Encore une fois, Drouin avec le 10 le long de la ligne. Beau lancer droit. Va trouver Badeau. Porte le numéro 11, Rohan Badeau, un joueur à surveiller.
Liking these unders now, as I say that. Mayo rips it, but again, the wind playing a part pushes that out of the reach of, I believe that was...
I think it was Mayo.
Mayo threw that. I think we're actually missing 81. We're going to find out who that is for you, folks.
Alors, ça sera, there will be another turnover for Ignite. They will put the disc back into play at their own goal line. White jerseys leading 2-0 early in this game. We are 13 minutes into the game, which is intended to be an hour, 25 minutes, unless one of these two teams reaches out the 15-point mark. Long pass. Great reading, great chasing by Emery Hockey. Just dishing it to number 45, Liam Carrière for Ignite's third point. They're now leading 3-0, having scored two consecutive break point early in the game.
So I want to revisit a point that I was talking about earlier. Coaching staff of Titane, first thing they said to us when we were asked, where has this team been? What's your mantra? Like, what's it all about? And it was mental fortitude. It was the idea that, you know, okay, we're Titane. If we make a mistake, it's just a mistake. Move on. Okay? We have a safe mental space where we can talk about things when they're not going our way. We can work it out and then get back to what we need to do. So they're not actually taking a timeout right now. No, they're not taking a timeout right now, but definitely taking the time, you know, the whole 60 seconds here to talk to their team and just reevaluate how they can keep their heads in the game. I'm probably just saying let's chill out on our hucks a little bit. Let's keep our deep throws locked in. That has been 100% of our throwaways. And just when the disc is coming at us, relax with your hands. It's bouncing off our hands. Our offense works until we take that deep shot, and the wind just wreaking havoc with it, right?
And to your point, Clay, there was we don't have official statistic, but my perspective is the vast majority of the turnovers were on forced error.
Yeah.
So Ignite with the white jerseys pulling this disc. Maillot, c'est maintenant Veillette avec le 10 défensif de zone. Maillot très actif, mais là il aurait été un peu long à se ralentir, aurait changé de direction. Maillot très actif. On bouge bien le 10, bien attrapé dans les airs de Veillette. Et là on va rejoindre le numéro 6, Elliott Durand, qui est aussi le capitaine Spirit de Titane. Et là on aurait eu un appel aussi de marché. Ce sera contre l'appel appelé contre Durand. On remettra le disque. On confirme avec les observers. On reprendra le compte à 2. Défensive de zone maintenue par Ignite. Mayotte, devrais-je dire. Et le numéro 31, le Bérard, là, qui s'échange le 10. Bérard qui décoche. Et le voilà, le premier point de Titane. après cette belle passe. Et voilà, on célèbre du côté des Bleus. Et on brise la glace du côté des Montréalais. Ignite qui mène toujours par le pointage de 3-1.
What I liked about that pass the most was when it wasn't taken, if that makes sense. Titane did a great job of moving the disc laterally and keeping it alive and really driving the movement with their handlers, as you said. The zone they're facing, I don't know its name. I'm just saying Arrowhead for now. But basically, it's a straight-up mark. And the other two players in the cup, they drop back into the inside lane. The idea being that that wall, Arrowhead, whatever, is going to take away any upfield options in the lanes, right? And just allow the team to kind of swing the disc back and forth and use the whole width, and that's okay. The idea being, if we can force them to throw 10, 20, 30, 40 throws, eventually they'll get impatient. They'll either make a mistake or throw something into coverage, which Titane has done several times, right? But this time they were biding their time and waiting until Ignite forgot about people sneaking behind the wings and when the deep was occupied to get it over the top and break it down. So way better patience by Titane at that point in dealing with that Arrowhead zone.
So the first time Titane will set up their D-line. Now, they've actually did for the first point of the game, which Ignite started on offense. Mooring with the disc going long, no hesitation. Finding his teammate 39 Fletcher near the end zone and quickly. How do you like those two pass points? We just love them. Quick execution, but I think it was a call. Was that a travel call? I believe that's what it is. Travel call, putting the disc back into play on the doorstep of the end zone, going around and quickly resolving that discussion. Number, I believe it's number 9. Was it Chase Alexander who scored? Yes, I believe it is. Number 9, Ignite, taking a 4-1 lead. Still early in this first half of the game.
Really efficient O point. When you're in the lead and you're throwing, so if you're in the next position, you're winning the game right now, and you are throwing a zone down on your defensive points and really slowing down Titane's offense, they finally score on you, right? And then to just go back out there and provide an answer that is a goal in 3 throws, or 3.5 if you take the call back, right? Huge. It looked like Mooring found an uncovered teammate almost immediately. I'm not sure if there was some blown coverage there by Titane. From what I could tell, that is what happened. 2 players did come down on a different check, and good recognition by that player on Ignite to just be like, oh, okay, bye. Down to the deep space.
And there was no hesitation. Mooring put the disc. Disc is live, and it just flicks it long. What a great throw. There's kind of a side wind that comes from the right-hand side of the screen towards the left-hand side, but it's kind of sideways also.
Yeah.
And it comes at gusts, but still, all the credit to Mooring's throws. Titane tire de l'arrière par 3 points. On bouge le 10 contre la zone défensive de Ignite. Rapidement, on gagne des verges. On vient de franchir le milieu de terrain. Transition défensive 1 pour 1 du côté des Ontariens. Bérard avec le disque. On est coincé le long de la ligne. Il y a beaucoup de circulation devant Bérard. Cherche une solution. On va rejoindre Lavarenne. Marek en soutien. Et c'est Bérard ensuite qui reprend contrôle. Et là, il y a eu un appel, je crois, un appel de pic, d'obstruction. Donc, on va convenir à combien. Les joueurs ont 10 secondes pour tenter une passe. Et si la passe est incomplète, mais c'est un bel attrapé ici. Et Mayotte qui sauve la mise. Cette passe avait beaucoup de vivacité de la part de Bérard. Bérard et Mayotte, on s'échange le disque. Mayotte cherche les options. Il va rejoindre Obella. Rapidement, encore une fois, Bérard du côté droit. Progresse bien du côté de Montréal, mais quelle défensive suffocante de la part de Ignite là, qui rend la vie difficile aux traceurs montréalais. Beau pivot ici de Mayotte. Va rejoindre Veillette. Encore une fois, on s'échange toujours à la hauteur du point de brique Beau plongeon défensif, c'était un peu court. C'est Aubert encore une fois. Il y a beaucoup de circulation encore une fois devant les passeurs montréalais. C'est difficile de se démarquer. On attaque le côté bris. Et le voilà. Oh, voilà, c'est un deuxième effort. Belle concentration du numéro 81, Émile Michaud, pour le deuxième point des Montréalais. Ignite 4, Titane 2.
Starting, I was ready to say Titane's vertical offense in the end zone there was starting to look a little disorganized. The cutters didn't really seem to know whose turn it was going to be, who was the next cutter, and they were all pretty static. But the handler core in Titane is on fire this game. Just so fast and making huge plays. I mean, we've talked about him a lot this game, but Ludwig Mayotte, right? Like, just doing everything back there. But at the same time, I'm liking how there was a lot of patience when he didn't have the disc. Titane's able to show the depth of their handlers, right? Credit where credit's due. It's not like it has to be in Mayotte's hands. They were all very patient, all taking their time, and allowing their teammates to get organized in the stack and showing that patience. So the patience I've been looking for from Titane has seemed to materialize.
They're getting in motion, getting some momentum. Titane avec le lancer d'engagement effectué par Yushun Sui. Un excellent lancer d'engagement. Beaucoup de temps de flottaison. Il atterrit profondément. Mooring responds back. Wait a long flick. One pass. 1 point. Mooring finding number 39, Jeremy Fletcher, for Ignite. 5th point. They're now leading 5-2. Wow. What words can properly describe that pass, Clay? The pressure is on you.
That pass was amazing. I'll just leave it at that. Amazing. Because you know what? I'm actually thinking about something else. I'm a little upset with Titane after that juncture. That was blown coverage. It looked like that Antoine Seal, he immediately put up his hands after Fletcher went deep. And Fletcher's the one who went last point. I couldn't find his name earlier, but that's the second time he's done that.
He does.
Right? That was 2 in a row, the exact
Absolutely.
same play. And I'm just asking myself, why is that allowed to happen again? And I saw Sear's hands go up, immediately ask his teammates, who had that guy? What are we doing? So they're either setting up a bracket and it's not getting communicated. A bracket being, if it's like a 2-on-2 situation, one person saying, I'll take whoever comes in, you take whoever goes out, right? And you just cover that space. It's a mini zone, if you will, right? And it seemed that wasn't communicated. And suddenly Fletcher went deep again and nobody had him, right? And Mooring's just like, thanks for the stats, boys. Like, just no problem. I'll take that shot. So, you want to say that can't happen, right? I don't want to rag on it. Mistakes do happen. This team has been talking about their safe, mental fortitude and figuring out these mistakes. But having the same exact thing happen to you 2 times in a row, it's like we need some immediate follow-up to fix this.
They need to learn, and they will indeed. In the meantime, Mayotte, c'est maintenant Obela avec le disque. Obela, dont les 2 parents sont des joueurs moins actifs aujourd'hui, mais qui ont longtemps été des joueurs très, très actifs sur la scène compétitive montréalaise. On les salue, Fadi et Anaïk. Mayotte, encore lui, à Obela. Et c'est maintenant Veillette. Et là, il y a un appel. On semble changer la force. Non, on revient avec la force maison. C'est Obela, encore lui, milieu de terrain. Beau mouvement, mais on peine à gagner de précieuses verges. Et voilà un beau tracé. Oh, c'était très, très bon. Est-ce que ça a touché le sol?
Yeah, it did. I'm going with yes.
From our own little perspective, it seemed to have touched the grass before it was grabbed.
First blade of grass that it does touch is down by rule. Linda Kudo, observer in orange here. Observer ruling is it was down.
But nonetheless, it was a great attempt by Maya.
Yeah,
just
excellent attempt.
Laying
he's been
out.
everywhere, right?
Gee.
This we know.
His footwork is just amazing. So quick. Ignite. Moving upward. Marshall with the disc. Midfield. Force is back end, but it's just a little too high for Jordan Dawes. Turnover for Titane. O-line, Obela putting the disc back into play, saying, hey, I need some help here, guys. Come and help me. Putting the disc to Maya, who is pass and running with Bérard. C'est Obela du côté de la ligne gauche. Feinte de soutien, cherche une option. Et c'est va rejoindre Bérard, son défenseur qui avait chuté accidentellement. A pu se démarquer. Encore une fois, Bérard du côté droit cette fois-ci. Et la passe est longue, ça flotte. Et c'est haut, tout juste hors de portée. Ça a été très bien défendu. Well defended. I think it's number 83. If I'm not mistaken, Emery Hockey who did that block. But it was, I believe the wind might have picked it up and put it out of reach of the intended receiver. So Ignite will put the disc back into play with a break opportunity at their own goal line. They're being forced home or backhand. Nice in cut by Andreev. Disc is floating. Obela catches it for the turnover. Titane de retour en contrôle du disque. Mayotte qui rapidement va remettre à Veillette. Veillette qui tente la longue. Et c'est Obela qui l'attrape au-dessus de la tête avec les deux mains. Et c'est le troisième point de Titane qui réduit l'écart à 2,5 à 3 pour Ignite.
Double happiness for Obela there, getting the defensive play and then scoring. That pumps you up. You'll notice how he didn't spike it.
Well, it was told that players are told that they're not allowed to spike this unless they will be the observers will point fingers at them.
Yeah,
which is something you don't want.
Yeah, and fans, if you're thinking, oh, what would we do without spiking? You have the opportunity to come up with the best and most rehearsed and practiced celebrations you can. You can plan practices instead of 2 hours, 2 hours and 10 minutes, and work on those.
Absolutely.
Because we really like it when our game discs at the end of the tournament, we don't only get a quarterback because the rest are warped.
Yeah. So be kind with your disc. Don't spike it. Alors, c'est 5 à 3 pour Ignite, qui présente sur le terrain maintenant sa ligne offensive. Alors, on nous partage présentement que nous avons des spectateurs qui nous écoutent en direct de la France. Alors, c'est un immense plaisir de partager ces moments, non seulement avec tous les Canadiennes et Canadiennes, mais avec toutes les Françaises et les Français qui viennent de vivre 2 semaines de rêve avec des Jeux olympiques qui ont tout à fait été épiques, non seulement pour les équipes françaises, mais les athlètes canadiens.
I really don't want to try my French now, then.
Alors, Clay qui comprend très bien le français, mais qui est un peu moins à l'aise avec le parler. En attendant, c'est Drouin avec une opportunité de bris là, pour Titane à quelques verges de la zone de points. Là, ça a été bloqué. Le numéro 0, le Pablo Erazo, dit qu'il avait toujours le disque dans sa main, alors que l'adversaire prétend que le disque était parti. L'Observers.
Je ne sais pas le terme en français, mais en anglais, c'est le dad pass.
Le dead pass.
Dad pass.
Ah, dad pass. Oui, la passe.
You know, when you're holding the disc, you go for a backhand. You don't step. Instead, you extend your hand out from where you throw a forehand and just kind of flick your wrist lazily, as your dad might at the beach when you're playing
when
pass,
your dad wants
right?
to show you how to throw the disc.
Yeah, exactly.
And they throw it like that. But
yeah.
That's
but
it.
The funny thing about that pass, well, it's not great. It stays in your hand for a lot longer. So when you get blocked, it's actually more often than not still in your hand, which is a foul.
You are right.
Yeah.
You are right. So it was ruled out as a foul, actually. So Titane qui menace toujours. Belle passe en soutien à Papa Georgiou. Et le voilà, c'est Drouin qui inscrit le premier point bris, mais il y a eu un appel là-dessus. Je crois que c'est un appel. Was it a travel call?
Pick call.
A pick call.
Yeah, I'm looking for flexing biceps. If you see, fans, if you see the signal of any players and it looks like they're flexing their biceps and showing them off, that is actually the signal for pick. Picks are illegal all the time in Ultimate, accidental or on purpose.
Unlike other sports like basketball. Oh, what a great grab by number Erazo. C'est Badeau maintenant en possession du disque. Titane en chasse de son premier point bris de ce match. On remet en soutien Ignite qui met une pression défensive de tous les instants. laisse peu d'espace pour respirer pour la ligne offensive montréalaise. Bado, beau jeu de pied, beau pivot. Fait coucher son adversaire, Bado qui menace. Et là voilà la petite passe pour le point bris, Elliott Durand. Et là, il y a eu encore une fois un appel. Mais non, on confirme. Il n'y a pas eu d'impact sur l'appel et c'est un point bris pour les Montréalais qui réduisent l'écart à un seul petit point. Ignite toujours en avance, 5-4.
But closing the gap, right? 1 point game now. It's Titane's certainly back in this game. I was worried earlier they'd come out deflated after going down 3-0. Not the case. Showing that they have indeed practiced that mental fortitude. The other thing has been, and we are seeing it more now, right? A lot more discipline is fundamentals, fundamentals, fundamentals. If their team had to have a mantra, they had two. One was fundamentals all the way and everything will trickle down. And we also know that they're not a team that wants to go away. We were told they like to be annoying, they like to be frustrated. I believe we agreed on the term. They want to be a headache of titanic proportions.
What's the term? I think that's the exact term that they say.
Titanic proportions. That's right. So, and they certainly are. Down 3-0. Now the score is 5-4. You're down 1 break right now. I believe they started the game on – oh, I could be wrong here. But I believe
actually, Ignite started the game on offense.
Oh, okay, yeah. So if that is the case, they are just down 1 break right now.
I think that was a timeout call.
Yeah, it looks like it's a timeout by Ignite. Kind of smart. You're down, or you're up 3-0. You're up 4-1, and suddenly it's 5-4. The energy has certainly shifted towards the team in blue.
But I got to give credit to Titane execution near the end, so they were very, very, very patient. But Ignite's one-to-one defense was really suffocating in there. They were in the shadow of the Titane's player all along the point. So credit to Titane handlers.
So I'm looking down at the Ignite O-line right now, and I know on screen you can see the Titane D-line, but I hope the players in blue there are discussing the fact that the 7th player on the line for Ignite right now is number 39, Jeremy Fletcher. If every Titane player does not have a huge red aura flashing with sparklers around him right now, it's a problem, as he's gotten 2 goals or facilitated 2 goals unguarded in the last 2 offensive possessions, excuse me, for Ignite.
So Fletcher going inside, mooring, feeding him. Nice pivot work by Fletcher. Now it's 92 Titane with the disc along the sideline. Fletcher here again, going long, but now fires it long to find number 35, Tenden. Was that caught up?
Ooh,
waiting for the confirmation. Yes, waiting for the observers to raise his 2 hands. One observer rose his hands.
Yeah, sorry I was interrupting you. It's interesting. So the signals for the observers actually follow a little bit of a flow here. They'll signal in the end zone, caught in the end zone. Then they put their hands up to their shoulders to signal, are there any calls, and then hands up for a goal. Now, what I don't know, and I'm going to go find out at halftime, does the observer signal possession was received in the end zone, or do they signal that it was caught in the end zone, right? Because they are not making active up and down calls. We do get a goal signal from observer Chazzy over there, so I can only think that that disc was up. To me, it looked like control wasn't necessarily established, and it may have bounced off the ground. I can tell these things from 50 yards away, by the way. So, you know, it was hard to see, but definitely from our perspective, we were asking questions. It's a good thing when you've got 4 observers on the field that there is one right on that corner that can make the call. So very helpful.
So the last point score by Sammy Tenden. And the pass was made by Jeremy Fletcher. So when Fletcher is not hunting down the long cut, he's just throwing the long throws. So that just shows how the wideness of the talent of this player.
Yeah, you'd love to have more tools in the toolkit. You can be a great striker, but if that's the only thing that you can do, you know, you can't be featured on the field very much because there's only one job. But able to show that he's great with the disc and can punish the other team in the deep space is huge. And I believe he's back out there.
Ignite qui mène 6-4.
Oh, pardon me, he's not.
Et là, il y a eu un hors-jeu d'appelé par les observateurs et je crois que on va reprendre le lancer d'engagement. C'est plutôt un avertissement qu'on donne aux joueurs et s'ils effectuent un autre hors-jeu, c'est là qu'il y aura pénalité.
Yeah, if they let it drop, they are permitted to bring it up to the brick mark.
Mayotte à Obella, défensive de zone encore une fois de Ignite, qui a causé des soucis aux passeurs montréalais. C'est Bérard, alimente Obella. Et là, on vient de transitionner, je crois, à une défensive 1 pour 1, effectivement. Et c'est Mayotte, encore une fois, qui se démarque. Il retient son geste et il y a eu un appel d'obstruction, un appel de pique. C'est le numéro 83, là, Emery Hockey, qui en a été la victime. Et il rejoint son joueur sans autre discussion. Et on retourne à l'action. Bérard, milieu de terrain. Obella qui se démarque. Oh là, il y avait un sac à dos là, qui porte le numéro 42, Lumley. Derrière lui, Bérard. Encore une fois, il est en soutien. On est forcé du côté revers, là, du côté maison. Et là, contourne bien sa marque pour trouver Mayotte. Mayotte, belle passe en suspens pour Antoine Cyr. Titane qui menace avec une possession offensive. Obella qui a tout l'espace, remet dans l'espace justement. Et va rejoindre Vincent Morgan, le numéro pour le 5e point de Titane. Titane qui s'accroche à un seul petit point de Ignite, tir de l'arrière, 5-6.
So, more patience from Titane in the red zone. La zone rouge en français?
Oui.
Okay, yeah.
Zone
Red
rouge.
zone rouge, yeah.
Oui,
Great patience there once again. And their vertical seemed to be a lot more organized this time. Still looking upfield and trying to find someone who's already moving, but their front of the stack got a lot more engaged and made it a lot easier for their handlers to look for a quick option. And then if it wasn't there, move the disc. Sometimes cutting early and just making a move is enough to signal to the handler that something's happening and you can throw it or not. When everyone stands around, the person with the disc gets confused. If people are moving, then that person with the disc can go say to themselves, yes, I'm throwing it to you, no, I'm not, and then go to another option, right? It kicks off that decision-making process, and in 10 seconds, that's not very long, right? Some will argue the 10 seconds in Ultimate feels more like 7 because we are not very good at counting like atomic clocks, right? So you don't have a lot of time to go through that decision-making process. And if you're held up staring at your players, looking for someone to do something, you really get jammed up in that red zone. So seeing some movement around from Titane is making that end zone way smoother, and better decisions are coming through.
The serve by Titane. Morning will put it back into play, defended by Drouin. Morning going around, feeding Alexander. Great catch by Shear, defended by number 5, Sui. Mooring acting as the quarterback of this offense line. Timon going long. Disc is floating. Fletcher! Was he inbound? He was on the line. Great position by the observers. Mooring attacking the disc. Put the disc in the air to the biggest body on the field. And guess what? You will have a point. That's what Fletcher did to Mooring. Ignite scoring their 7th point of the game, leading by 2 and 1 point shy from halftime.
Fletcher, once again, abusing the deep space. What do you say if you're on Titane? Let's always back that player. Stick on his back shoulder. If he goes under, like towards the disc, you can chase after him. You can be there. You can put some pressure. The instant he turns around and goes deep, you are racing him deep every single time. And it seems Fletcher keeps catching the players in blue on that first step under. They overcommit, and he's gone, right? I'm harping on it, but when I keep seeing it, the coaching hat cannot come off right now. Something's got to change with that because Fletcher is continuing to punish Titane with his deep game.
And Fletcher is the kind of player when you play on defense, you will always look bad. Because whatever you get, you cannot control 360 degrees around that guy. You need to commit to something and give away something. And he will always take advantage. That's how smart and talented he is.
Yeah.
So what a player, number 39, Fletcher. When he's not scoring, he's doing the pass for the point.
Yeah. And I mean, on deep strikes in the deep game, you don't need to score necessarily. Obviously, we want, if you're on offense, you got to win the game by scoring points. Yes, I know. Kind of a weird thing to talk about. But if Fletcher can keep going deep and keep abusing that and getting it right outside the end zone and then making a pass, as you said, to the biggest body on the field, I mean, who cares, right? He doesn't need to score every time. He's got plenty of support in this team. There's a ton of depth in Ignite that once they're in the red zone, they've shown they have no problem with it, right? So just any deep space that he can take is going to be a huge problem for the defense.
Titane en réception de service, tir de l'arrière par 2, mais c'est Ignite qui a commencé le match en offensive. Ignite qui a inscrit 2 points bris jusqu'à maintenant. Titane a répondu par 1 point bris quelques instants plus tard. Alors la deuxième mi-temps, ce sera Titane qui ouvrira les hostilités. Lancé d'engagement de l'équipe d'Ottawa. C'est attrapé par le numéro 31. Bérard, rapidement, c'est Obella avec le disque, avec Mayotte. Mayotte qui bouge bien, pivote très, très bien. Il va rejoindre son coéquipier Giguère. Fait un beau tracé à l'intérieur. Un autre beau tracé à l'intérieur, c'est celui de Veillette maintenant. Milieu de terrain, les traceurs montréalais là, qui s'activent. On les semblait un peu plus discrets depuis le début du match et maintenant, on s'active du côté des traceurs. On s'engage plus à l'intérieur, ce qui donne des opportunités. Mais là, c'est malheureusement Bérard qui met le disque hors de portée de Veillette. And it's a turnover in favor of Ignite. Morning will put the disc back into play. Where is Fletcher? He's not on the field. So one less threat to worry about for Titane's defense. The disc is long, but there's 2 blue jerseys to block it away. The intended receiver was Alexander, but well defended by Montreal.
That time, I love that defense from Titane. They were actually looking for it, right? They actually saw the deep game developing. They saw number 9, Chase Alexander, setting up to go deep, and they had help defense backing him and everything. Doesn't have to beat Fletcher. A huge block by Ignite. And immediately signaling to his team he doesn't want to pick the disc up and maybe call a timeout. That was Charlie Lumley with a huge layout block.
Mooring going around his mark to score Ignite's 8th point with a break point to end this first half. Ignite from Ottawa leading 8-5 against Titane from Montreal. Clay, wow, what an amazing half have we just attended. What are your impressions so far in this amazing game?
Ignite's on fire. Okay, here all week, folks. But anyway, no,
it had to be said.
Yeah,
it had to be said.
Ignite's feeling it. If you look at them right now, they're celebrating. They are together with their team. I've heard a ton of chatter coming from their sideline about how much they're helping each other on defense and offense, how active the sideline is. And we're seeing the depth, I mean, Lumley, huge layout block there. It fires his team up immediately. And that's the consistency coming out of Ignite is just the different story and how hungry they are for the disc. Titane's offense, I wanted to give a shout out to Giguère in that vertical offense. He was making cuts deep. They didn't get thrown. He turned, burn under. He's there for the next throw from a swing that goes to a different handler. That's the sort of hunger and activity that Titane needs right now that Ignite has.
So we'll take a short break for this first half just before attacking the second half. On va prendre une petite pause. Nous serons de retour dans quelques instants pour la suite de ce match Ignite d'Ottawa contre Titane de Montréal. À tout de suite. Nous sommes de retour. We are back for the second half of this game featuring Titane from Montreal in the blue jerseys against Ignite from Ottawa in the white jerseys. So far, Ignite has taken a 3-0 lead to kick off the game. And they're still leading by 3, 8-5 in conclusion of this first half. So how will Titane respond to Ignite? Ignite have scored 3 break points. So far, Titane has only 1. Alors, Titane qui tirait de l'arrière 0-3 en début de match et qui tire toujours de l'arrière par 3 points à cette mi-temps. Alors, ça sera intéressant de voir les ajustements qu'ils apporteront dans cette deuxième mi-temps. Pour fermer l'écart, il reste encore beaucoup de temps. Il reste près de 25 minutes, un peu moins de 25 minutes de jeu, donc beaucoup de temps de jeu. Et on profite de l'occasion pour saluer Édouard de Montréal, qui fait partie du club Ninjak de Hochelaga Maisonneuve-Mercier, qui nous écoute. Alors, on te salue, Édouard, et puis on salue tous les fans du Québec et d'Ottawa. Merci d'être avec nous. Titane on the receiving end. They are starting the second half on offense. Obela receiving now. It's number 31. Bérard. Défensive 1 pour 1. C'est Cyr qui s'offre en cible à l'intérieur. Milieu de terrain du côté droit. Cherche du soutien par en arrière. Remet le disque dans l'espace à Bérard. Toujours en milieu de terrain, les traceurs montréalais là, qui peinent à se démarquer. C'est Mayotte qui vient en support. Et défendu par le numéro 91, Raphaël Dumont. Bérard, encore une fois, qui donne des consignes. Hey, venez vers moi, mes traceurs. J'ai besoin de votre support à l'intérieur. C'est Obela, cette fois, là, qui s'offre en cible. Saisit le disque d'une seule main dans les airs. Belle agilité du numéro 24. Remet une petite passe de la main gauche. C'est Mayotte qui s'agenouille pour rejoindre Cyr avec un beau lancer franc, un beau lancer droit. On a tout près de la zone rouge. Le disque est dans les airs. Obela qui s'élève, atterrit à l'intérieur de la zone de points pour procurer à Titane son 6e point, réduire l'écart par 2. Ignite mène 8-6 en ce début de deuxième mi-temps.
Huge point for Titane. They come out of half. You're starting on 0, right? It's your chance to receive. And like we've talked about momentum and everything, Ignite had the momentum going into half. After that huge layout bid, quick goal, the team was fired up. They were celebrating at start halftime. Over here during halftime, in the shade, right under our booth, Titane had a little team meeting. They all just got some shade, talked to each other and everything, and come out of half right away to make a huge play and just say, yeah, it's a new half. Right? We're still in this game. It's no big deal. It's only a 2-point game. Like you said, we've got 20 minutes until we reach soft cap, I believe. So still lots of time for something to happen here. And just to come out with energy.
And Claire, I'd like to hear on you. We saw Bérard from Titane just signaling with his hand to his cutters.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
Give me something in. I think that's something that Titane has struggled so far in the game. The handlers are doing a lot, are being very, very active, but it's hard to get a continuation from the cutters.
That's right. I talked about one player on Titane who seemed to be doing more continuation cuts.
Fletcher once again going long. Mooring just feeding the beast on the goal line. And Fletcher punishing once again Titane's defense, going long with Ignite's 9th point, taking back a 3-point lead early in this second half.
Hey, Tim, you may have noticed I got a little quiet in my thought there as soon as Fletcher went deep. That was for 2 reasons. One, well, you know, something cool is happening play by play, and I don't want to interrupt that with my take on Titane's offense. And the other reason was rage.
I think I read rage on your face. Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, Fletcher, once again, the jab step in, take off deep. It works every time for him. Back him, turn around, help defense on him all the time, right? It is hard at this level to have that kind of team coordination to deal with that, or to necessarily recognize who you are covering and what you must do to cover that player and what their game plan is. I understand that, but at the same time, these top-level teams are here to get pushed in their learning, their strategy, their abilities. right? We want them to not have us adults tell you, oh, you're not ready for that or anything. They need to make an adjustment and do something about that, right? But I was going to say, and maybe we'll see it here on Titane's offense, but it's that turning around with the disc. The handler has the disc, and they look at their players, and nobody has started their cut. And as you said, it was it Bedard?
Bérard, yes, number 30, 31.
Oh, Bérard, sorry,
Bérard,
excuse me. Yeah, he was signaling someone come under, and he turned around, and there was no timing, right? I was talking about Giguel showing that earlier, and it was great, but everybody on Titane's got to contribute that way.
Titane qui voudra répondre rapidement à ce point de Ignite, là, qui est encore une fois Fletcher, là, qui semble inarrêtable jusqu'à maintenant. Oh là, belle attrapée. Il y a eu contact. On appellera la faute et ça sera reconnu rapidement, le numéro 42. Bel esprit sportif Lumley ici qui n'argumente pas cet appel. C'est Émile Michaud qui remet le disque en jeu, qui trouve Drolet. Ben voilà, on a des tracés à l'intérieur de la part des attaquants montréalais. Et voilà, ça donne des résultats. Oh, malheureusement, là, c'est le numéro 6 là, qui n'a pu maîtriser Durand, qui n'a pu maîtriser cette passe. On a vu des beaux tracés à l'intérieur du côté de Titane. C'est quelque chose qui s'était fait rare jusqu'à maintenant dans le match. Et là, je crois qu'il y a eu un temps mort d'appeler du côté de Ignite. Timeout call by Ignite, which are on the edge of entering the double-digit zone. It's a psychological line when you reach out the 10-point line, you know, with the going into the double-digit.
That threshold.
So,
yeah.
Who will reaches out? Because we know, for those who are less familiar with the sport, whoever reaches out the 15-point mark wins the game, unless we are running out of time. These games are intended to be 85 minutes long. Why 85? Well, the quick answer would be why not? But there is always some time constraint when you organize a national championship as this CUC.
Yeah, there's a lot of time slots today. A lot of teams here. I mean, you might see at the top of your screen as the cameras pan back and forth that there are a ton of teams playing here at Ultimate Parks Incorporated in Ottawa. I don't know how many are currently in service or how many we're using, but I recall the last time I played here, there are 19 Ultimate fields at this facility. And most, if not all, are being used. There are 48 teams here for the junior edition of the tournament. So a 2-hour time slot for all of our games. It's 85 minutes, and of course then there's time, you know, for other teams to arrive and warm up on the field and so forth. So that 85-minute time slot is kind of just has to be what it is if we're going to get all of our games in these 3.5 days of the tournament.
Ignite après un temps d'arrêt aux premières passes qui sera bloqué par Drolet. Oh, ça c'est malheureux d'avoir investi un temps d'arrêt pour manquer sa première passe. Mais c'est une opportunité pour Titane d'en tirer avantage. Mayotte qui cherche des réponses et Drolet qui, encore une fois, initie les mouvements à l'intérieur qu'on a peu vu depuis le début. Drolet coincé le long de la ligne. C'est Mayotte qui lui vient en aide. Et qu'il est rapide, le numéro 86. Toujours le long de la ligne. C'est le numéro 6, Durand, avec le 10. Tente la passe. On tentait le corridor très étroit le long de la ligne. Et c'est bien défendu par le numéro, je crois que c'est le numéro 0, là, Matteo Marshall, qui effectue la défensive pour Ignite.
Marshall knew it was coming because there was no activity in the vertical stack. Cuts were coming too late. It had to be all Mayo. So Marshall was able to read the next play and intercept that pass.
Fletcher with the disc. A few yards up the brick mark of Ignite. Going back with Lumley with the disc. There's some screaming on the line. Give me some inside cuts. Lumley attacking the line. Time is running out. Disc is floating. A nice reading by number 8, Chasey Jones. But there was a call. I think we ran out of time. That's what Titane is claiming. Observers, Marchand is there to resolve.
So signaling, pounding the fist together, signals a contest. So neither player elected to ask the observer for the ruling. Instead, just contesting The stall count comes in at 8.
Quickly putting the disc to Lumley. Midfield going long. Fletcher initiates this pass and finds Dawes for Ignite's 10th point. And it's how important is that point? Not only it's a 10 point, but it's a break point by the Ottawa squad, taking a lead 10-6 in this second half. So pressure is on Titane from Montreal, trailing by 4 while clock is ticking.
Yeah, extending that lead once again. Titane's going to have to really dig deep to stay in this game right now. They are going to just inherently be aware of the time, and going down 4 points is tough. Ignite obviously showing that they're keeping their foot on the gas. They're not laying off. They're not taking it easy on them or anything like that with the lead, is they are showing they want to finish this game. I did like Titane's defense, though, allowing Fletcher to come under. He got the disc and he threw it, but that hasn't been the worst of your problems with him. And not only that, but number 27 there, Hugo Drolet, he just tweaked his ankle, tweaked his ankle as he went over just to make that play. He was in position, and it seemed as he just took one more step to the right, just went over on his ankle, and he's okay. But that was a throw that it was 50-50 and could have been defended if it not for a little lost footing. So, I mean, a better defensive strategy there from Titane.
So just taking a second to do some land acknowledgement that we are now on the unceded and unsurrendered territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe people. Titane qui doit se frotter à la défensive de zone des Ontariens d'Ottawa. Belle défensive de zone là, qui contraint les passeurs montréalais à travailler seulement de façon latérale. On bloque et voilà, il y a une ouverture ici. Et la continuité, le Drouin qui donne hey, donnez-moi une continuité ici. On avait l'ouverture. Et on devra repartir de zéro. C'est Bérard maintenant avec le 10, mais il y aurait eu un appel. Je crois qu'il y aurait eu contact. C'est ce qui arrive parfois quand on joue une défensive de zone. Là, personne ne marque personne et les gens sont un peu, c'est un peu le chaos. Et des fois, il peut y avoir des contacts ou encore de l'obstruction bien involontaire, évidemment.
Yeah, it looks like they were just crossing paths and ran into each other. So, as you say, just incidental. But I don't know if it's worth a discussion right now, considering that that pass was happening no matter what. But with this zone, I mean, with this arrowhead zone, position is really important. The zone is so effective if all 7 players are in the right place most of the time. Anytime you're out of position, this zone is so easily punished. And Titane's doing a great job of just moving the disc so quickly now. I'm loving this.
Et un bel enchaînement passé court de Drouin ici, là, finalement. Titane qui se donne un peu d'espace de manœuvre. Là. On gagne quelques verges et un peu d'espace pour respirer, circuler le disque. Et on vient d'impliquer un 4e passeur là, dans ce mouvement montréalais. Et encore une fois, la défensive de Ignite, là, on cherche la faille. Et les traceurs montréalais là, qui ne peuvent... et la voilà la faille. On gagne quelques verges. On s'est bien anticipé par Jack Beach. Just nice reading by number 1. That's what happened when you play a zone. You force the team of doing a big load of throws. And statistics doesn't forget 1 pass out of 10 will be blocked or will not be completed. But now Drouin, he's the one denying this pass for another Titane possession.
Particularly with this zone, this is about using the statistics, right? This is, we're going to hold you to a ton of lateral movement. Titane has been moving the disc a lot faster across the field. The last step they're missing is they get it all the way across. Like right now, there has to be someone under after you complete that catch.
And once again, the zone defense by Ignite paying off. Turnover about 5 yards away from the goal line. 61, Connor Seaborn will put the disc back into play. He will be trapped by the mark done by Orphea Papageorgiou. And a great around pass by number 1, Jack Beach, but the wind just picked it up and put it out of reach of number 20, Declan Brook. Titane with another offense possession. Bérard à Drouin. Les Bleus dans leur propre zone de points. On va de la gauche vers la droite, de la droite vers la gauche. On cherche l'ouverture. Et un des enjeux, c'est peut-être on ne regarde même pas vers l'avant pour voir s'il y a des feintes, faire mordre un peu le mur défensif ici. Et voilà le bloc. On a tenté quelque chose. C'est une belle lecture. Number 83, Emery Hockey. Well read. Just lays out to block the disc. It will be Ignite's possession. On the goal line, number 22, Chandler Natel. Going around his mark. Oh, nice layout bid to catch that disc, but just bumps out of his hand. I think it's number 81 or 91, Raphaël Dumont, if I'm not mistaken.
Seeing the zone set again, no surprise. Giguère is constantly getting across and ready for that throw upfield. The handlers, like you said, they need to take a look. They are not looking. Look now. See who's there. Someone goes in and no one's in this time. So that strike, sorry, not that strike, but that dagger underneath to attack this zone right now is missing. It's there with a little bit of a delay. It works out, though.
Finally, Papa Georgiou, midfield. Some room to work. Drouin going long. It's floating. Will that be in the end zone? Yes, it is. Giguère converts the point after a tough effort by Montreal. O-line providing Titane their 7th point with a great body positioning in order to secure that catch. Montreal trailing by 3 against Ignite.
Giguère deserves that one. He was working so hard that point to be open at every opportunity, and he wasn't getting found often enough. And now when he goes deep to make a good read on a throw, that throw was not the best. Declan Brook was in the area and could have made a play. It just happened to be on his wrong shoulder. So I think Titane kind of got away with one there. And the other thing I want to say about that is as soon as they got through the zone, right, it was an immediate huck. And I have to question, and I will allow Titane to rewatch the stream, come to me and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. But it seemed to me that was an expression of frustration and impatience. We've been playing against this zone for so long. I see something deep. I'm taking the shot because I'm sick of this zone. I just want to get past it, right? And that lack of discipline can come back to get you. And it did get Titane a few times in the first half. But perhaps, I don't know what I'm talking about, and that was the plan all along.
One thing's for sure, there's approximately 17 minutes remaining on the clock. So clock is ticking in favor of Ignite from Ottawa, leading by 3. They started the game taking a 3-0 lead, and that's they have secured so far. Fletcher once again defended by C, but still gets a hand on this disc. Now it's Tymon feeding Mooring on the reset, but there's a call. I think there might have been some pick call.
Etienne, I'm not going to talk about it.
You're not going to talk about it?
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want you to get angry. Mooring, 10 yards away from a potential 11-point, goes low, release it, and guess who he finds? Our friend Fletcher, and the point is confirmed by the observers. Ignite from Ottawa taking back a 4-point lead. Late in this second half, it's 11-7 for the white jerseys.
The energy coming off Ignite right now is pretty fantastic. They were exhausted in that zone defense earlier, that Arrowhead zone, forcing 40 throws, right? I mean, generating turnovers that way, that's what that zone is for. It's designed to get the lateral movement and then something happening. But they are just fully committed to using everything they got in this game right now to get the win, and it doesn't matter by how much. Point differential, how much you win by or lose by, does come into play in this tournament quite often. I myself have been on the good and bad ends of the point differential. If you're from Max Power, you know that you hate my team, Happy Campers at Worlds. But moving right along, it happens, right? Point diff is really, really, really important when you have three-way ties or anything like that. So teams are competing for every single point, even if the game you might be thinking is a foregone conclusion. Now, I say that with 15 minutes to hard cap, there is a different rule for the junior edition of this tournament, and that is we have a soft cap. In 5 minutes, a horn will go. When the point finishes, 1 is added to the highest score, and it will be game to that point. So if Ignite has 12 when the horn goes, if the horn goes and then they score their 12th point, it will be game to 13. And again, we're seeing this arrowhead zone from Ignite,
which has been proven very, very successful so far. So you don't change a winning combination. Great defensive effort, but miscued by Montreal. Le numéro 68, Maxime Jérôme, qui ne peut maîtriser cette passe. Ça sera un revirement en faveur de Ignite. About at the break mark, now 2 yards away. Marshall with the disc. Forced back, but there was a pick call. Number 1, Jack Beach, was kind of no, there was no pick call. Maybe it didn't impact the play.
I heard it differently. I heard a hey and not a pick. And maybe. I believe it was the player who got the goal there. Who was that?
Beach.
Jack Beach. I think he was just yelling, hey, I'm uncovered.
Well,
which is exactly what happened. He came off the back of the stack. No one was there. I think he had good heads-up play to recognize. I'd love to see that, too, from players that are really drilled. Now, I don't want to speak for the coaching staff for Ignite here because I actually don't know this. But in my experience, we typically drill a ton of systems into players at the junior and college level. At the open level, at the master's level, the masters just tend not to listen as much. But we drill these things into them, right, about if you're going to have an end zone system, the cut is always coming from the front. We're always looking for the initiator from the front. But you need to be able to recognize when your opponent has given you an advantage. And Beach just did, right? He's like, I am alone. And I could go, get my stats up here if I just get vocal and make a play, and that he did. You'd love to see the flexibility allowed for that from the Ignite team. So, both having discipline in a zone, but also taking advantage when given to you.
While this game is intended to end in, worst case scenario, 13 minutes, that will be our third and last assignment for today. We have a ton of ultimate here at this CUC Junior here in UPI, Ottawa, to offer you tomorrow. Live coverage starting at 10:30 with Clay and Chantal, who will welcome you with already some crossover games. Wow.
Ooh, the big exciting games.
It will be.
Yeah.
So that will be at 10:30. Our second assignment will be at 12:30, of course, Ottawa time, where I will have the great privilege of sharing another crossover with Chantal. Our third or fourth assignment for tomorrow will be at 2:30, where Clay and myself will call some quarterfinal game in the Open Division, and we'll conclude tomorrow's fourth and last assignment at 4:30 with another quarterfinal where Chantal and Clay will call a Women's Division game. So 4 assignments, 4
busy day tomorrow.
4 busy day, but looking forward for this very, very exciting days. All the games today were very, very played at a high level. So great display of athleticism and talent by the junior division here at this Canadian Ultimate Championship. I'm going to take a few seconds, Clay, to thank Ultimate Canada and the gazillions of volunteers offering their time to make this event a successful one.
That's the number we agreed on, right?
The gazillions,
yes.
Yeah. I've counted them all and I've landed at a gazillion. So thank for all your effort. And also thanks to our sponsors, Be Ultimate and Discraft, for taking part in the success of this event. Titane qui est en feu, on gagne des verges, on bouge bien le 10, beau petit passé court, là, entre autres là, par Mayotte et Obella. Et c'est maintenant Erazo avec le disque en soutien en Mayotte. Oh, c'est tout juste hors de portée de Laverne, malheureusement, Lavarenne plutôt, Marek. Et c'est un revirement, un bel effort offensif là, de la part des Bleus, malheureusement, qui se termine par une passe tout juste hors de portée. Montréal est maintenant en défensive. Et voilà, autre opportunité des Montréalais. Ce sera Mayotte qui mettra le disque en jeu. Et là, on voit des joueurs du côté montréalais qu'on n'avait pas vu tellement depuis le début du match. Maillot, lui, on l'a vu amplement. Obella aussi. Obella qui enchaîne et qui rejoint son coéquipier Rémi Lalongé pour le point des Montréalais. Et on célèbre du côté des Bleus pour ce 8e point après avoir pris un temps d'arrêt. Montréal qui tire de l'arrière toujours par 4, c'est 12-8, Ignite.
Lalongé is getting all the love from his team right now. We hadn't really seen him on the field very much this game to come in for a point and to see the celebration and support from Titane right now when this game is not necessarily out of their hands, but it's pretty close. I believe soft cap did go on that point. So if I'm not mistaken, this will be a game to 13. So Ignite only needs to score one more point to win. But I've been wrong before, but we'll see. But if that is indeed the case, this is soft cap, and Ignite's only one away. But you know, Titane, you love it. They don't care, right? They don't care. The score is important, obviously, but we're not going to let the score interfere with how we bring our teammates up, the energy we still have as a team. You love to see that sort of culture on a team, right? No one's down on each other. No one's sitting down. No one's taking off their cleats. Everybody's in this game still, and happily.
Il y a quelques instants, on remerciait tous les bénévoles, les milliards de bénévoles qui sont ici présents, qui font de cet événement un succès. On remercie aussi les commanditaires Be Ultimate et Discraft. Et on ne voudrait pas oublier tous les parents, accompagnateurs, entraîneurs qui se donnent corps et âme pour procurer à tous ces joueurs juniors l'opportunité de prendre part à ce championnat canadien d'Ultimate édition 2024. Encore une fois, quelle expérience ces jeunes en tir de prendre part à cette compétition de haut niveau. Mooring, avec le disque, remet en soutien à Beach. C'est maintenant Cheer, avec le disque, cherche une option, commence à se faire tard. On va trouver Mooring qui s'est démarqué à sa droite, mais là, il y a eu de l'obstruction, je crois. It was a pick call.
A stall down, actually.
Was it a stall down?
Yeah. Cheer arguing that, yeah, my check was close to 8 or 9 stalls, but I released the disc first. Both players elect to go to the observer, from what I can tell. So they will explain themselves to Observer Chazzy, who will make a ruling on this.
And you know, sometimes, Clay, when you're counting, you stay stalling 1, stalling 2, and the higher you get, the faster you count for some reason.
Oh, the old stalling 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And there you go.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
I've never done that.
That's a
never done that.
You never done
never
that.
Never done that. 20 years Ultimate, well, never done that.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I might have done it once, I believe.
Yeah.
Maybe once.
But then you learned immediately and never did it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was even once called a stall 12. So that's how late I was with my throws. Nonetheless, Mooring breaking his mark, finding Beach midfield, Beach. Left handler Mooring again going around Drouin, taking advantage. But what a great grab by Beach. Or no, it's not. It's a Cheer. My apologies. Mooring again on the brick mark. Going flick to guess who? Fletcher, best buddies. Oh, what a great grab by number 92, Titane. Just nice feet acknowledgement to make sure is inside the zone.
And that'll do it. We were in soft cap, so scoring that point, Ignite takes it 13-8. I felt the game was always in Ignite's hands. Titane was clawing their way back after that 3-point deficit at the beginning of the game. We saw them make some amazing plays. As we said, they mentally stayed in the game the whole time, but just needed to make some strategic adjustments that never really materialized, and it's sometimes showing some lapse in patience. While Ignite just remained very consistent, stuck to their plan. Their arrowhead zone was a big deal this game, a real big deal. It worked flawlessly in causing Titane to throw many, many passes back and forth and eventually generating a turnover. And then just relying on big plays from all their players. I obviously have talked about several today, but the depth in Ignite was really what carried them on offense in this game.
Alors, comme le disait si bien Clé, la défensive de zone de Ignite là, qui a causé beaucoup de soucis aux passeurs montréalais. D'autant plus que Montréal, là, dès le début du match, s'est vu tirer de l'arrière 0-3. Alors, on joue du ultimate de rattrapage. Toujours un défi de revenir d'une telle... d'avoir subi 3 points consécutifs en ouverture de match. N'empêche, ça aurait été un excellent match que la formation montréalaise et la formation d'Ottawa nous aura offert aujourd'hui. Et c'est là-dessus qu'on va conclure nos reportages pour cette journée 1 de ce championnat d'Ultimate canadien édition 2024, division junior. On est au terrain UPI, les magnifiques terrains UPI, tout en gazon naturel. Donc, un site tout à fait exceptionnel qui a connu plus que son lot de championnats canadiens. Donc, on remercie encore une fois toute l'équipe, les bénévoles, les entraîneurs et tous les bénévoles qui font de cet événement un succès. Clay, it was an honor to describe this game with you today.
So much fun.
Looking forward for more exciting games with myself, Clay, and Chantal tomorrow, starting at 10:30 Ottawa time. That is our next assignment, so looking forward to it. In the meantime, go outside, throw some discs, and take care. Alors, on se revoit demain à 10h30 pour le premier de 4 assignations pour cette continuité de ce championnat canadien junior. On vous remercie d'avoir été des nôtres, et puis on vous dit à demain. Allez dehors, lancez des disques, profitez de l'été. Ciao.